Travel the country? Let Total Transportation of Mississippi be your travel agent. Competitive pay, paid vacations, full benefits, all powered by TotalMS.com. We are going to go to the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line. And are we excited about this? March Madness is here when we have on Tristan Ferris, Kentucky Hoops Insider on ESPN 105.9 The Zone. Tristan, good morning. Is your face painted blue and white?
Not quite yet. As I say, it was a good game yesterday, but Kentucky's really not in a position to ever play on Wednesday. So that was a unique set of circumstances this season.
That's true. Y'all are used to playing on Thursday and or even Friday with the double bye. All right, so Mark Pope in his second season at Kentucky. And y'all are in the tournament, but y'all don't like being 20-12 and 10-8 in the SEC. You play Missouri this morning at 11:30 our time. How would you sum up to date season 2 for Pope and the Cats?
Season 1 was up and down, but you finished with the Sweet 16. Season 2 came in with a lot of expectations, and Kentucky just hasn't lived up to those expectations. I know that $22 million number gets floated around a lot, so you spent a lot of money on this roster, and the results just don't equate what you spent. So I think you talked about the record, 20-12 at Kentucky. I think there's only been less than 10 times that they've had 13 or 14 losses, and that's probably going to happen. Considering unless you just win out the rest of the season, which doesn't seem like a high circumstance, but I think the more concerning part is just if you look at some of the games when they played power competition, is just they get down 10, 12, 15 points at I think it was about 60% of the games. And so that's the more concerning part is Kentucky's supposed to be the one beating up on these teams. And while they've come back and had some great wins like Tennessee or Arkansas or LSU back in Baton Rouge a few months ago, that's just not something Kentucky fans are used to. So they're pretty frustrated this season, even though they are probably going to win a couple games in the SEC tournament and they're locked into the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, they are. And you got Missouri this morning. Again, the Tito's Vodka Bloody Mary game this morning for those of you that are going to take off work like Jackson. And it's Kentucky and Missouri in Nashville, 11:30 a.m. Central Time. Kentucky's laying 3.5 against Missouri. So how frustrating is it for Kentucky fans when another team in the league, because y'all been the basketball school for 100 years, but when another team in the league wins a national championship last year like Florida and then wins the SEC championship regular season this year and is playing for a number 1 seed, how frustrating is that for Big Blue Nation?
Well, there's been a lot of pent-up frustration because Kentucky hasn't been close to a regular season title or an SEC tournament championship in several years now. They're not to say they haven't had some good seasons. Obviously, 1 or 2 with Cal before he left. They finished top 3 or 4 on the conference. But Kentucky fans, if you look at the record, you see 30, 40 SEC tournament championships, 30, 40 SEC regular season championships. So it's just something that they're used to being on top. So when you see teams, not just like Florida, because they do have a little bit more history, but teams like Alabama here lately with Nate Oates or Auburn with Bruce Pearl, obviously we've seen a little bit of a blunder this season, but it's just these teams in the new age of college basketball and college sports in general, they're finding success and Kentucky isn't. And I think one part of the reason is they were slow to a lot of these changes, but there was a lot of hope in Mark Pope and his analytical background that he would, at least on the basketball side, get that up. But obviously on the NIL and recruiting side, things are starting to lack a little bit. Okay.
And what about how much do you think Kentucky fans are keeping an eye on Calipari and Arkansas? They did get the double bye. They've had a better – now, look, y'all could still advance further than any and all these teams because you have the players to rip off some wins, as you know, in the tournament. But how frustrating is it to see that Arkansas has the best player in the league in Acuff and Cal's doing pretty damn well in Fayetteville?
I think for the general Kentucky fan, they're okay with it because I just, if you ask them or if you ask me personally, I just don't think Cal would have had the success that he's had at Arkansas the last 2 years. He kind of rejuvenated himself. He looks a lot happier in the press conferences. He looks healthier. not as stressed out. But obviously, Acuff, that's a player that Kentucky used to get a few years ago. So it is kind of different seeing Arkansas or other teams in the league have those kind of guys when Kentucky doesn't. But I do think even if you look last year, it was kind of flipped, right? Kentucky hit the bye for the first game, and then Arkansas basically had to win a game just to get themselves locked in the NCAA tournament. So there's some give and take there. I think most fans wish well for Cal, considering what he done, but obviously not when Kentucky plays him.
Tristan Ferris, KY Insider, Big Blue Nation Insider. He joins us on the Farm Bureau Insurance Guest Line. Kentucky and Missouri this just in a few hours. Bridgestone Arena in Nashville. Mark Pope, year 2 at Kentucky, former Kentucky player under Pitino, and he's back. They hired him from BYU when Cal made the jump to to Fayetteville and the Arkansas Razorbacks. Do you still have a lot of no? Do you still believe that Pope can be the guy and that he can, have a successful 6 or 7 or 8 year run in Lexington and hit the Final Four and compete for a national championship, Tristan?
I think he can be a guy that can have success. Do I think he can be a Rick Pitino or John Calipari and go to multiple Final Fours? I don't think so. The verdict's early on that, but I just think if you look at his career, even dating back to BYU, there was times where he had great wins. I remember he beat Kansas at Allen Fieldhouse at BYU his year before he jumped to Kentucky. But then the very next game, they led up a game at UCF and lost by 30. And that's just kind of been Mark Pope's careers, up and down, up and down. And so hopefully at Kentucky and the resources they have, they can find consistency. My worry, though, is if you look at the top programs around the country that have a GM, they are adapting to this new age of college sports. And I just think the Kentucky staff, as well as they may be with X and O's, the off-the-court stuff, the recruiting, the NIL is just as important. And that's not to say that Pope hasn't brought in great players, but if you look at this season, the assessments that he made just didn't match up to the money that they spent, and obviously the resorts aren't there. So the latter part is what worries me. I think he doesn't want to give up. It seems like he doesn't want to give up control. He doesn't want to seem like he's not made out for this job that he's wanted for his entire career. But sometimes you have to understand, as smart as Pope is, he may not be the best at being a GM while being a coach throughout the season. So hopefully he can kind of separate those duties. And I know that they're kind of looking at a guy in a front office role. So that'll be something to watch over the coming weeks.
And he's losing his athletic director that hired him, right? Mitch Barnhart's retiring. So by the time we roll around to next season, Kentucky will have a new AD, which means he's not his guy, right?
Correct. And I think if you just look at Kentucky athletics as a whole, it's kind of a changing of the guard. So you had Mark Pope replace John Calipari, who was the longest tenure coach in the SEC. This past offseason in football, you have Will Stein replace Mark Stoops, the longest tenured coach in the SEC. And now you have Mitch Barnhart, the longest tenured AD in the SEC, being replaced at some point this summer. So it's kind of a changing of the guard in UK athletics, and it's really, really important that they find key roles in the athletic administration while helping the sports, because if you look at programs around the country, the programs that are making the good hires are the ones finding success. And when the sport is changing as much as it is, it's really important that you hire key people and you're not delayed, because it could set your program back a little bit.
All right, Tristan Ferris, Big Blue Nation Insider on the Out of Bounds Show. If y'all lose today to Missouri on the Thursday of the SEC tournament, even though you're in the tournament, which means, again, with the way your roster is constructed, you can win 1 game, 2 games. Wouldn't be surprised if you won 3 games, because y'all have talent. But if y'all lose today, what will the meltdown be like for the Kentucky fan base?
It wouldn't be as bad as yesterday.
Fair enough.
So they got the first one out of the way, but most fans aren't going to be happy. I think if you ask the rational Kentucky fan, which
How many are
Can be
those?
hard
2?
to find sometimes. Can be hard to find at times. They would be happy with 2 wins and then getting to Friday because Florida's just playing on a different level right now. But
Yes, they are.
I just think that as long as look back at the game in Missouri back in January, Kentucky had a lead going later in the game. They just kind of let off the gas. And so I think this year or this upcoming game is really important to them. They talked after the game yesterday that they were going to make sure they didn't let off the gas this time. So I think that's a point they're going to try to make.
Now they're playing for seeding. Big Blue Nation. Kentucky's playing for seeding. And they play. Missouri's a good team. I mean, they're not bad by any stretch. They're dangerous. They've got some good wins. So this is not a layup. I mean, Kentucky's laying 3.5. It's not like they're a 9 to 11 point favorite today. This is a bucket, give or take, right? And so it could be, yeah. I mean, you could be eating lunch today, guys that are listening, wherever you're going to go. Martin's in Livingston, Taste Italian Kitchen, watching the game. This could be a good one. It could go down to the last 5, 6, 7 minutes of the game. We're hanging out with Tristan Ferris, Big Blue Nation insider on the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line. All right. Who is your favorite Kentucky basketball player of all time, Tristan Ferris?
Just looking back at my childhood, it's got to be Jody Meeks. My childhood, I was born, just to give you a time frame, 98. So I was too young to really remember Tubby's early years. Got to go to a few of his camps and stuff and be around Tubby, which we've got to talk about since then. But growing up, really when I first started getting memories and recalling games was the Billy Gillispie era. So there wasn't a lot of good to come of that. So Jody Meeks was the kind of the first guy, and then I still remember the 54-point game he had against Tennessee, and as crazy as that was, and so he's got to be the one that kind of started it all for me. So he's got to be my favorite.
Love it. Now, were you at one point? Were you a rabid John Calipari fan, especially early when he had it rolling, Tristan?
Oh, for sure. And it would be hard to find anybody that wasn't. Maybe the kind of the older crowd that didn't like the one and done, just kind of getting adapted to that. A lot of fans didn't like, but when you go to 4 Final Fours in 5 years, it's kind of hard to find find your critics in that time. So I think he was kind of toward the latter part of his career. He was a victim of his own success, but early on, those years were fun.
Golly. I mean, 4 Final Fours in 5 years. You forget how good he was and won a national title. The year that he lost to Wisconsin when they were undefeated, was that the semifinal game in the Final Four or the national championship game, Tristan? Do you remember?
I remember it very vividly. It was a semifinal game,
okay.
and Wisconsin actually had a shot clock violation that wasn't called, but we won't talk about that.
I remember that now because they played slower than slow. And
Kentucky deflated the ball, and that definitely didn't help. And Kentucky, earlier that season, they lost the one player that Sam Decker kind of killed Kentucky in that game. And Kentucky locked Alice Poitras with an ACL, and he was the one wing defender that would have matched up really well.
Okay. All right. Who's your favorite player on the team, this year's team, Tristan?
Oh, I think it's got to be Colin Chandler. I just think watching him last year and being able to watch him grow, because at points last year it was really tough. He talked about transferring, like going back to Utah and going back home because he was so homesick. But he really loves the program and loves Mark Pope, and just seeing him kind of flourish. He's had a little bit of a downside the last couple of games, but seeing him kind of grow from a guy that took 2 years off of basketball trying to get reacclimated, found some success at the end of last season and kind of carried that into this year and become a leader. That's been pretty neat to see.
All right, who's the most dangerous team in the SEC outside of Florida, Tristan?
I think it's got to be Arkansas, just because when you have, especially going in the tournament, guard play matters. And when you have a guy like Darius Acuff who can put up 40 and is playing through anything and everything, and you kind of have that talent just to showcase. A guy like that can carry you pretty far in the tournament. We've seen with Steph Curry and in the past, Jimmer Fredette, Buddy Hield. If you got a guy like that, they can take you pretty far.
Yeah, no doubt. Who was the dude for UConn? Ended up playing the NBA forever, but UConn was like got in by a whisker by winning their conference tournament?
Yep,
No.
Shabazz Napier, Kimball
Walker. I think it was Walker who just shot them all the way through, and unbelievable. I think it was Oliver that was the coach or something. He had just replaced Calhoun maybe within a year or so. Hold on, did y'all played them? That was I was out in Vegas when Kentucky and UConn played in 2012 for the national. Is that right, Tristan?
We were in 2011. We lost to them in the Final Four, the Kimba team.
Okay.
And then in 2014, we lost them in the national championship. So UConn has had the better end of the matchups the last few years, and they've won they've won 3 championships. So
oh my God,
it's been we don't like to see UConn.
Yeah, I watched that game Monday night in Las Vegas in 2014, UConn and UK. All right, Mashburn is my favorite player of all time by a million. Who's yours? Oh, Rex Chapman. Yeah, I saw Rex play. Kenny Skywalker, all those guys that went through in the 80s. Rex was a hell of a player. But Mash, man, he was the total program changer for Rick Pitino. Pitino talks about it in the book. I mean, he's like, we go to New York, we sign Mashburn, it changes our program. The rest is history. And then they ran it in the 90s. Tristan, hey, we're going to do this a couple of times over the next couple of weeks. You ready and locked in?
As long as Kentucky makes it far, I'm ready and locked in. But I don't know. I have my doubts about that, so we'll see.
All right, buddy. Thanks, man. Appreciate you.
See you guys.
All right, Tristan Ferris, KY Insider, joint Big Blue Nation, baby. Talking about Mississippi State fans living and breathing pitch to pitch, inning to inning in Biloxi the other night on a Tuesday night game against Tulane. Kentucky basketball. Now, this is a bigger game. I mean, they're playing for seeding and so on. I know every game, damn near every game in college baseball is big. But, I mean, they're playing on a Thursday. They're already in, and they're playing for seeding today. I mean, they could bump up a lot. They could bump up a notch with the win over Missouri because Missouri's legit with a good RPI. This will be a good win for either one of these teams. I think this may be, well, on paper, the most competitive game of the day, with Kentucky laying 3.5 at 11:30 this morning against Missouri. Auburn's playing for their life. I think if they beat Tennessee, they're in. That is a big win, and Tennessee's got a great RPI. I really do. Ole Miss and Georgia. Georgia's trying to either play their way in or stay in. Ole Miss isn't going, but they're trying to. It looks like they ruined the Texas Longhorns season and Sean Miller. Okay, they're trying to do it to their former point guard, Ole Miss alum Michael White, who's the head basketball coach, Jackson, for Georgia. And then tonight's game's Oklahoma and A&M, and A&M's the same way. They're trying to solidify, 100% in, which I think some of these are. Okay? Hey, we're the Out of Bounds Show. We're powered by Total Transportation of Mississippi. Apply today. TotalMS.com. It's on the front page.
WRKS Pickens Jackson.
All systems go.
Live from the Whiskey 61 Lounge inside the Bank Plus studio.
This is Out of Order.
Live in the studio. It's the Out of Bounds Show with OOB. Streaming live worldwide on the Out of Bounds radio app. And on your radio at ESPN 105.9. All set? Let's go. The Zone.
Maybe your fan base would rather lose to Alabama.
Maybe. Good morning. Welcome into the Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. Back in the Bank Plus studio after a week plus. Remotes and travel and all kinds of stuff. Show is brought to you by the fabulous bone-in ribeye, or just the regular ribeye. Which a lot of times I go regular, but medium rare, medium rare. Does that sound good? Seared. Kessler Prime and the Renaissance, KesslerPrime.com to make a reservation. Steak, seafood, vino, private dining rooms, and award-winning Elijah Craig bourbon. Speaking of Big Blue Nation, right? That's where we go to pick out the Elijah Craig barrel that we picked last August. Still not here yet, but I did receive an email that said it has been shipped. So the Elijah Craig barrel pick that we picked out last, I think it was August, runs together with the crew, should be at Briarwood Wine and Spirits soon. And as soon as it's there, we'll let you know. Those Elijah Craig barrel picks go fast. And one, because it's a finite amount, right? And so when it's just a limited supply, people want to get a bottle for themselves and maybe a friend or client or something. So as soon as the barrel pick from Elijah Craig comes in to Briarwood Wine and Spirits, we'll let you know. And we'll have Nate in. Nate has said he'll come in and we'll try it and talk about it and nerd out on it. You know what I'm saying? Like Wes nerds out on Mississippi State baseball, and Jackson nerds out, I guess, on Apple products. I mean, good Lord. So that's what I'm for our listeners. That's what I'm dealing with. The Dancing Rabbit Golf text line 601-885-3776. You can find us on X at Bo Bounds. At Bo Bounds. Tweet to us. I haven't tweeted today. Man, I got to do that. It's not even right. And then the Michelob Ultra, our SEC coverage is brought to you by Michelob Ultra. Michelob Ultra caller line 601-707-3750. Guys, I'd go ahead and book your 24 to 48 hours of March Madness, table games, Vegas-style sports book, golf, Phillip M's, all powered by Pearl River Resort and PearlRiverResort.com. We're going to be up there next week. Looking forward to that. It's going to be a good time. Great spot, not but an hour from here. PearlRiverResort.com. March Madness, table games, golf, Phillip M's, Vegas-style sportsbook. I mean, that's a good 24 to 48 hours. Nobody's going to be bored. I mean, you can be at the blackjack table, poker table, Vegas-style sportsbook, and play golf all within a few hours. All right. So it's National Popcorn Day. Popcorn Lovers Day. Mm-hmm. Popcorn goes with sports because you have popcorn at football games, basketball games, baseball games, even hockey and so on. So there's something about getting a box of popcorn, sitting down in your seat, and getting locked into your team, right? And I was talking about the other night, we were in Orange Beach, and so what night? Tuesday night when Mississippi State played Tulane, and Ole Miss and Southern Miss played. Hell of a win for Southern Miss, 2-1 pitching duel. I mean, golly, what a game. Southern Miss now has 2 monster wins, non-con on their resume, and I think they could really cruise in the conference play, and Jeremy McLean's on the baseball committee. It could be another really good year for Southern Miss baseball, and Hattiesburg could definitely be, or they put themselves in a good position to host a regional. We'll see about, supers and so on. And that Southern Miss Ole Miss game, to have a pitching duel on a Tuesday night, wow.
Yeah.
A lot of times when the bats get rolling, 2-1, credit to both staffs, Ole Miss and Southern Miss. That is not easy, especially with an aluminum bat. Good Lord. And as big as these guys are this day and age. But the Mississippi State Tulane deal was funny because we were in Orange Beach with friends and we were at dinner and we were at Big Fish and I wasn't paying attention. And so I had my phone down. We were having a large time. It was 6 of us. Fun night. Everything was great. The company, the food, the vino. And so for an hour, I didn't look at my phone, or may have been longer than that. And I turn it over and I'm like, what is going on? And I love this. Please keep doing it because fandom and fanaticism is beautiful. And y'all are all crazy. And Mississippi State's losing to Tulane.
7-2.
7-2. And then all of a sudden, Ace Reese decides to hit one in the ocean.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy threw that pitch, and you could tell he was like, oh, no. And Ace Reese was like, I can't believe you just threw that pitch. And then it was an absolute missile. And then the game turned. And Tulane could never, but it was so funny. I mean, Mississippi State people are already gung-ho baseball, but with the football program being an absolute dumpster fire and the basketball program saying, hold my beer, now O'Connor has to win every game, which you play 56, you're going to lose a bunch of games and you can still be good. But there is just so much focus and pressure because Mississippi State fans are so frustrated, as they should be, over football and men's hoops.
But we talk about this all the time about winning midweek games. You can't just drop a Tulane midweek game.
Right.
Or, just a North Alabama game just because, you just played a tough series.
That's a little bit different. You just went from Tulane, who will actually be rated somewhere in an RPI. Not that they're like super good. And then you just said North Alabama, who would be like 348th.
Okay.
So it's a little bit different deal, but I get what you're saying.
Okay.
I mean, losing Tulane on a neutral field is not devastating. It's not good, but it's not devastating. Now, you're right. Losing to North Alabama at home could be devastating for you, whoever you are, if you're trying to be one of the 16 seeds. I get it. But you live pitch to pitch, which is awesome, right?
Every night.
I mean, you're watching you're on the edge going pitch to pitch.
Sweating.
That's beautiful. I love it. I absolutely love it. And then Ace Reese made you, just not jump off the balcony. It's beautiful. And then they started putting it on them. So anyway, and now we got SEC play this weekend. But I love it. It was like people were, I was sitting there thinking, I was getting some of these texts in like the second and third inning. That is awesome. Non-con game, Tulane, neutral site, people are losing their minds. Resdog says, is Jan's the best in the country at one and dones? It's not super hard to get to the tournament. Oh, we'll pull that up on the other side. You damn right we will. That's a done deal. Oh.
It is not super hard to get to Omaha.
Wow.
It is not super hard to get to Omaha.
Don't forget this.
It is not super hard to get to Omaha.
Whoa. We are the Out of Bounds Show. Lunch today brought to you by Taste Italian Kitchen in the Renaissance. Visit tasteitaliankitchen.com to make a reservation. Our text line is 601-885-3776. Well, good morning. We are the Out of Bounds Show, powered by Pearl River Resort. Powered by Pearl River Resort. Book your 24 to 48 hours of March Madness fun. PearlRiverResort.com, DancingRabbitGolf.com. That's a good time. We'll be up there next week. Looking forward to that. The Madness is here. We're in conference tournament play. Although some have already had their conference championships. We already have teams like my man, Rod Strickland, Long Island University, former DePaul point guard, longtime NBA player, longtime John Calipari assistant, head coach at LIU, punched their ticket to the NCAA tournament. And we've already had several go in. We'll have more over the weekend. And that is exciting. 24 to 48 hours of fun. PearlRiverResort.com, DancingRabbitGolf.com. Good morning. Welcome in. We are the Out of Bounds Show, 105.9 The Zone, ESPN. Ronnie says, Bo, I'm headed to play Dancing Rabbit right now. Nice. Ronnie, you're a smart man. You're a smart man. And I hope y'all have a blast. And then you can head over to Mom and M's. Well, actually, you can go to Clubhouse for lunch, which is fantastic. I mean, their bar and grill food's great. I've talked about the breakfast sandwiches, but the burgers and the club sandwich is great, all that. But you're going to have a good time. And then you can hit the table games, or you can bet on one of the games today.
There you go.
And win big.
You can place it when you get there, cash out when you're done.
Yeah, exactly.
Or you place the first half bet, cash it out when you win, then play golf for free.
That's a good.
I just don't understand why people. I mean, it's the best promo I've ever heard of.
Strategy. Yeah. That's what you are about,
dude. Yes.
It's like for you, it's like a Rick Pitino game plan.
Well, it's business,
right?
I'm not that. To have fun, we need to handle business.
We do. Don't forget this.
It is not super hard to get to Omaha.
Yeah. Don't forget about that. It
is not super hard to get to Omaha.
What? Goodness gracious. All right. We're live in the Bank Plus studio, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. All right. So, y'all have any thoughts on the SEC basketball tournament?
Meh.
No?
I mean, Florida's going to win it all. I
don't think they're going to win it.
I mean, they're the best team.
They are the best team.
Sure.
That doesn't mean they'll win it, but
Right.
the odds are in their favor. Okay.
I mean, they may, kind of just take the, couple,
That's true.
take a day off or whatever and just say,
Although I think the
They're
one
fine.
motivation for Todd Golden in Florida
One seed.
is they want a number one seed and they're fourth in the RPI. And don't get me wrong, their resume is fantastic. They've had an unbelievable season. They're the SEC champs and all that. But you got Duke at 1 in the net rankings. You have Michigan 2. And then you have Arizona 3. And then Florida 4. But the Illini are right there chomping there. Gonzaga, Houston with Sampson, and Iowa State drilled their opponent yesterday by 50. They're mean and tough and fundamentally sound, all that stuff. And then UConn and Dan Hurley, who's a maniac, we'll drop that audio again here in a minute, is a crazy man. And then Painter and Purdue are at 10, Izzo and Michigan State at 11, and so on. So there. I'm wearing my Louisville pullover.
Nice.
Louisville's 14th in net rankings. That's strong too. What was Florida in quad 1? 11-5.
Wow.
It's good. That's good.
Dang.
That's really good. Actually, it's only the 3 teams ahead of them. Duke's 15-2.
Okay.
Quad 1. Michigan's 14-2.
Wow.
Quad 1. And Arizona's 14-2. Quad 1.
And you got Joe Lenardi having the last team in is Auburn.
Okay. Now, if they win today,
Expect them to win today.
And that's not an easy lift against Tennessee. But if they win today, Auburn's in.
Yeah.
I think they're in. Right now, when you're the last team in, you can get bounced in a heartbeat just depending on what happens the next 4 days.
Right.
And what tournament, who, what, where, when, why. Yeah, but Auburn and Tennessee, they're the second game. We get Kentucky, the biggest brand in our league in basketball. Against Missouri. Those are two good teams. And then you get Auburn and Tennessee, Auburn fighting for their life. Tennessee laying 5.5. And Rick Barnes, who we'll see.
I like him now.
Do you?
Yeah, I hated him at Tennessee or at Texas, but I like him now.
Yeah, I do too.
He's grown on me. I don't know why.
Well, let's talk some football real quick. Tony Dungy is not going to be part of NBC and Sunday Night Football.
Good.
Now, I don't know who's worse on TV, Tony Dungy or Jason Garrett.
So bad, both of them.
Okay. But, Rodney Harrison, it was a disservice to Rodney Harrison to have Tony Dungy with him for the last 17 years or whatever it was.
Back.
Not 17. Was it that long? Couldn't have been that long since Dungy's. I just saw Dungy tweet. Here it is. Okay. He says the last 17 years.
Wow.
Been informed by NBC that I won't be back.
Thankful.
Okay.
They heard about that Hall of Fame voting.
Yeah. Oh, you're blaming it on Tony Dungy and Bill Polian lobbying against Bill Belichick to not get into the Hall of Fame, allegedly?
What you get, Tony.
Okay.
Yeah. The heck with your contract.
All right. Well, look, he and Jason Garrett are as boring as, again, watching paint dry or Mississippi State basketball this year. Or Ole Miss basketball, even though they won yesterday, right? That was a tough. You had to to watch that consistently, you had to have money on the game or something going on.
Something.
Is that fair?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Other than Josh Hubbard and Elias, there just wasn't a lot to get worked up about
all year.
Yeah. And so we'll see what they can do as far as, Ole Miss is still playing.
Yeah.
And they play today against Georgia, and we've talked about that a number of times. And they put it on Texas early. And, Beard loved that, like we talked about earlier, because Texas beat him earlier in the year. And he comes back and beats Sean Miller in Nashville yesterday. And it's a good win. Now, you got 13 wins, so you're just kind of, I don't know. You're having fun and trying to mess people up. And you still want to. One thing, Ole Miss was competitive. Mississippi State was not, even though late in the season, MSU went over to Ole Miss and won.
Yeah.
But, Mississippi State has been getting blown out for the most part. Ole Miss has had like a bunch of bucket or 2-bucket games. So they didn't just throw in the towel. It looked like all the players on MSU's team outside of Hubbard threw in the towel. And that's unfortunate. But that's where you are. They're now going to make all these changes. It may be a year or two too late. It's reactive instead of being proactive. You knew 2 years ago you needed to upgrade your staff. You definitely knew last year. So now you've waited till it's DEFCON 1 to do this. And here you are. And we'll see if, Jans can do about the, 12 different things you got to do to get back in the saddle and get some things going. Bartu may join us. He's been texting me about handicapping bets. I don't want to surprise you. Guy's a maniac. So he may come on. Or if it's after the show, we'll let you know. It will still be on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, search Out of Bounds with Bo Bounds, or YouTube. Search Out of Bounds Sports. Our channel on YouTube, search Out of Bounds Sports. Good morning. Welcome into the Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. ESPN 105.9 The Zone. This is beautiful. Love it.
Oh, look at that. Every single one of those is just coated perfectly. It looks so fresh. Wow.
Woo! Isn't that wonderful? You love it. You do.
Oh, look at that.
Isn't that great? Yeah. You did good cutting these up.
It looks so fresh.
It looks so fresh.
Love that.
Yeah.
And she blessed us with some good drops.
That's somebody at that's 4 out of 5 females at Publix on 30A today. Don't you agree?
No doubt.
I mean, is this right?
It looks so fresh.
Yeah.
That or when they get their daiquiri,
Oh, yeah.
that fruit, fresh fruit.
It's not fresh
No.
fruit. It's artificial. But
Absolutely.
yeah, it can still look fresh.
Oh, it's gonna be played as fruit.
Yeah, I mean, it's still
It's
food coloring and terrible sugar, fake sugar. Sure.
Hey.
But
Profit, baby, profit margins.
hey, this is it. When you're talking about English peas and mayonnaise,
Oh, look at that. Every single one of those is just coated perfectly. It looks so fresh.
yummy.
To be
Find
fair,
you some kind of pea salad today
well,
on 30A. Oh, yeah, baby. Let's go. That's a lady that we talked about. I don't know. She's a chef or something. Did she ever return your call?
what's her
Wes?
I called her,
Uh-huh.
and I got a guy on the phone.
name? Nice.
And he said that he would reach back out to me after he spoke with her to maybe get her on the phone with us,
So either agent or husband.
agent or husband. So
We've got to set this up. One of our listeners sent us this reel of a lady who's a chef, and she's kind of a social media, not kind of, she's a social media
yeah.
influencer.
Yes.
And she was making a pea salad and running the spoon through the bowl, and you could see the English peas and mayonnaise. And she said all this while we broke it up, but she said all this while showcasing it to her social media followers. What's her name? Like
Smarty
Sweet
Pan.
Kitchen?
Or Smarty
yeah.
Pan.
Smarty Pan.
Yeah.
All right,
Oh,
look.
look at that. Every single one of those is just coated perfectly. It looks so fresh.
Oh, man. Pea salad and Sauvignon Blanc on 30A today, baby. Let's go.
I'd let her run any sales team.
No question. She needs to be, we need to hire her.
I don't know how she didn't in sales
She needs to do our social media.
or
Oh,
voiceovers.
look at that.
It just, I'm excited about this.
I mean,
It
she
looks
sells.
so fresh.
yeah.
I want to try whatever she's talking about without knowing it. I would like to try whatever she's talking about,
Okay.
but since I know it, I'm good. She's got some heaters on here though,
Does she?
big time bangers.
Like some food that we would actually eat.
Oh yeah,
Not the English peas and mayonnaise.
No.
So we're talking game day food. Like,
Oh, yeah,
we
this
like
is it.
wings, we like sliders, we like dips that are not not pea salad,
right.
but queso, rotel, really good quality salsa. What are some other dips?
Oh, I mean, other dips.
Yeah. I mean, they jump out at you
Yeah, I mean, I was
for
thinking
game day.
Copenhagen, Skull,
Rotel.
something like that.
Well, rotel's amazing
Yeah.
when done well. What do you think?
Grizzly wintergreen. That's always a good dip. For
No,
game
I'm
day.
not talking about those kind of dips.
That's right. Okay.
Although we have plenty of guys listening right now that have a dip in their mouth and they're driving to their next sales call or to check on
Dang
some
right.
land or something like that. There's nothing wrong with that.
Now.
Well, Wes is that Longhorn?
It's long.
There we go. Yeah, all right.
So Wes immediately reaches
That's what I'm
in
talking
his
about.
pocket and brings out some Longhorn dip.
That's what I'm talking about.
Um,
Get a plug.
I think that we should get you to dip in the third hour.
No doubt.
All right, so you got to take a dip,
That's easy peasy.
and y'all both have to put in a dip. And
Get me a spin.
in the third hour.
Oh, I'm in.
Okay, is that fair enough?
No doubt.
Oh yeah, I can handle it.
What is that? Wintergreen?
Yeah. It's pretty
Ah,
good.
man, my breath will smell great.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's breath smells great when they do. Anytime they dip any kind of wintergreen dip. Let's ask our listeners.
They killed it with that.
Do you dip? Do I say Skull or tobacco?
It's tobacco.
Tobacco. Yeah.
Okay.
Dip tobacco.
All right. So the Dancing Rabbit golf text line is 601-885-3776. I dipped in
There's so many.
junior high,
Yeah. Yeah, I got it.
and then I realized I didn't. I think
Suspended.
a little bit of 7th, 8th, 9th grade.
Yeah.
Like
a chaw.
No, dip.
Yeah,
There's
it's
a difference between
big
chaw and dip.
Big difference.
Yeah.
Okay. But if you dip, shoot us a text. Or and maybe tell us a great story about picking up a beer can that had dip spit. How many times did that happen to people in college? Because you would have, you'd have 27 Bud Light cans on the coffee table at whoever's apartment. And everybody's talking and and having fun. And all of a sudden you miss the wrong Bud Light can and you pick up and you get a big swig of dip spit from your buddy who had left it there 2 days ago.
Somebody just threw up.
So if you dip, text us on the show. And what kind?
Yeah, we need to know.
And how many times a day and how long or when, or if you don't now, but you did.
Yeah, buddy.
Whatever.
Can a day.
Lance says Red Man.
Red Man.
Red Man chew.
That's chow.
Boom.
That's some chow.
Yeah, dip or
yeah, chewing tobacco.
Chewing tobacco. Yeah. My tobacco deal is premium cigars from Spring Street Cigars.
Yeah.
In Jackson, right there where the Rogue Men's store is. And I had a buddy who, what day was that? I don't remember. I'm totally messed up being gone. But today's Thursday.
Like
2 weeks ago?
Yeah,
Monday or Tuesday, I had a buddy call me.
Yeah.
And I couldn't get to it. And then he called me right back. So he's one of my elementary childhood friends.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we go on our guys' trip, been together forever.
All right.
So at that point, I'm thinking something's wrong.
Yeah, back to back.
Okay. And so the only other person who does that is my daughter, and she just does it because she's like, it's me, you answer the phone.
Answer the phone, yeah.
Right. Okay. And so I'm trying to get it. I answer, hello, I can't hear him. So I call him back. Can't hear him. Finally, he texts me. He goes, hey man, I'm in Turks and Caicos. I need cigar recommendations. I was like, I got that.
Yep.
So I just ripped off Davidoff, Drew Estate, Liga Privada, which are tied together, Rocky Patel, Padron, which if you run into the 1964 anniversary cigars, then you're in heaven. And Spring Street Cigars has those, top 5 cigar in the world. It's ridiculous. Now you're going to pay for it, but it's premium. So I think, we connect. He was like, man, I'm sorry. I don't have good cell service. I'm in Turks.
Right.
But I ripped through Davidoff, Fuente, Rocky Patel, Liga Privadas, and Padron is not Patron.
Right.
Tequila, which is fabulous.
Sure.
Okay. And it is actually 100% blue agave. Your Casamigos is not. But the
wow.
Padron cigar, many of them, it doesn't have to be a 1964 anniversary cigar, are incredible.
Shots
fired. It'll be one of the best cigars you ever smoke in your life. But that's a deal where you need to be sitting down, either by yourself or with a good friend or your significant other. Don't need to go anywhere for an hour and a half so that you can enjoy, and whether it's with a cup of coffee or whatever you want, vino, Elijah Craig bourbon, boom.
Now, you being a cigar aficionado.
I don't know about that, but I do love them.
Okay. Do you smoke one after a good dinner or after a good glass of wine, or is it just up to your liking? Like, so if you're down at the beach today at 12 o'clock, you may light one up.
Oh yeah. Now I'm not going to smoke when it's 100 degrees. In like if I'm at the beach, which I'm usually not now with my kids older, in June or July. But if it's this time of year and the weather we just had in Orange Beach, because the weather was amazing. Okay, but it's not hot. It was warm. The sunshine was great, but it's perfect weather. Yes, you can light a cigar noon, want, but now I'm not going full bodied at 11 a.m. or noon or 1 or 2. Unless I'm with like my bourbon, the Elijah Craig guys, and we've had a big lunch and we're on the road or whatever. And then I'll smoke a full body. But yeah, you can do light, medium bodied, and then kind of go in. Now, after a big meal or a phenomenal meal, you can light whatever you want. And it's fantastic. So that's a good question, man. And this is perfect cigar, like Bocock Brothers cigars. We've talked about those, the Mississippi State and Ole Miss ones. I mean, they're beautiful cigars in beautiful boxes, and they're premium Honduran. If you want to order some Ole Miss or M/S cigars, go to bocockbrothers.com. The promo code is Bounds10. What a way to celebrate March Madness, golf, college baseball season, everything else. Bocockbrothers.com, bocockbrothers.com. You can get the Mississippi State, Ole Miss, LSU, Florida, A&M, Missouri, among other schools. But the M/S pinstripe box, so good looking. And also the Ole Miss, and then you got the Dak Prescott special cigars. And then on the Ole Miss side, they've got the red box, Corojos, and they got the blue, powder blue box too.
Yeah.
These are Honduran premium cigars from bocockbrothers.com. Order a box, give your buddies in the neighborhood a few, or drop some. I mean, I've dropped off some boxes to clients. They love it. I mean,
Strong box.
Premium cigars, Honduran, bocockbrothers.com, bocockbrothers.com. Promo code Bounds10, Bounds10, Bounds10. All right, let's go to the Dancing Rabbit Golf text line. We would like to know if you dip or chew tobacco, or if you ever did. The text line is 601-885-3776, and that is powered by award-winning Dancing Rabbit Golf Club. Book your March Madness. Stay and play right now, baby. PearlRiverResort.com or DancingRabbitGolf.com. Let's go through this. Airborne dog. I started chewing with Pappy squirrel hunting at 12. Been dipping since first guard duty in the Army in 10-degree weather in 1995. Wow. Can a day. Timberwolf straight long cut.
Go.
Brother, that is hardcore. All right. Jake from Yazoo tried to dip twice. Had to pull over while driving to puke.
Yeah.
Second time, ran to the bathroom. That stuff runs through me both ways. Oh, understandable.
Yeah.
Pug started dipping in the 7th grade. West Side, Amico, and Amory. Didn't bat an eye at my computer. Paper fake, allegedly.
Yeah. ID.
Oh, I'd either pull out the paper fake or the janitor would make a run for us. He'd do it for an extra $1, single dollar. Randy was the man. Well, shout out to Randy
Yeah,
in the Amory school district. Pug started dipping in 7th grade. Yeah, I had buddies dipping in 7th grade.
Yeah. We got suspended.
I dipped in 7th grade, but I didn't dip. Oh.
Yeah, okay.
I didn't dip like regularly.
Right.
We
got caught.
Let's see who we got. I didn't dip for 11 years. Then I turned 12. Copenhagen long cut wintergreen. That
Let's
is
go.
awesome.
Let's
I
go.
think, should we tie in a giveaway to this?
I mean,
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, we'll put these stories are great. Best one. Let's give away 3 different ones.
all right.
We've got some cigars
Yes.
to give away. Plus, we'll do a bar swag bag
There we go.
with, it can either be Volteo tequila, Tito's swag, or Elijah Craig swag, which I've got to call the Elijah Craig guys. We got to get some more swag in, or merch.
Yes.
Is that a better one?
March.
Okay. State grad 98, silver top Copenhagen. Started on Skull Long Cut.
Yeah, buddy.
Been dipping 37 years. All right.
Those real men.
At least he's consistent.
That's right.
Now, Wes,
I
what do you have? Longhorn?
Longhorn, long cut wintergreen.
Long cut.
Gotta be long cut.
Yeah.
Is it Longhorn, long cut?
Yes.
Okay, got it.
Yes.
Gotta be long cut.
Why is Longhorn
The go-to.
your go-to for you?
Well, I used to do Skull.
What about Copenhagen?
No.
Okay.
I just can't do fine cut because it just fills up my teeth.
Oh,
So
It's
long
everywhere.
cut, long cut is just better. If I'm gonna
Cleaner.
it's easier to dip and
Neater.
you can throw it out real quick and
Throw it in real quick.
yeah,
okay.
Basically versatility.
yeah.
There you go.
Range.
I'm a baseball guy.
You are.
See, that's what, yeah.
This guy,
It's baseball.
Wes, lives on the edge of his seat on every pitch for Mississippi State baseball. I love it. I mean, were you freaking out the other night when Mississippi State was losing 7-2 to Tulane?
I was freaking out other night against Lipscomb, much less Tulane.
Okay.
I was in dire straits. I was like sweating.
Really?
Yes.
That's incredible.
I was just,
I got to be, I've been doing this for 22 or 20. I have to be, I wouldn't even dream about working up a sweat over a Mississippi State Lipscomb game or MSU Tulane game.
I was freaking
But I love that you do.
Yeah.
I think I've become immune somewhat.
to my addiction.
Now,
to-
look, this weekend gets real.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you get swept, State or Ole Miss. You got to come back on Monday and lay some stuff out, and there starts to be, not like you can pretty easily recover this early, but you get swept. People like to freak out. We got to play off of it. But yeah, I think when you get swept in conference play, you definitely build a segment or two off of that on a Monday. Is that fair?
That's fair. What are your
Yeah.
predictions this weekend? For
One thing
State?
I'll give Chris Lemonis is he came on whether they were winning or losing.
Yeah.
You can say what you want about Lemonis, but I had a friend who's like you. I was talking to him yesterday on the drive back, and he said, Bo, I like Lemonis, and he did a good job in some respects, and he lost his way in some. But he said, if we're going to give Andy Cannizaro credit, a little bit of credit for the national championship for recruiting Tanner Allen and some other guys, right? Then don't you think you have to give? He said, well, don't you think you have to give Lemonis credit for getting Ace Reese and Garrick Fry
Okay.
and Bryce Chance
Absolutely.
and some guys like? And I'm not even through. I mean, I could keep ripping off players. Now, I want to get Brian O'Connor was able to retain them because of his resume and because of his personality and because of his what he can show he can do. But I thought he made, a good point. Nothing's been accomplished. I say that.
Well,
It's all for Mississippi State and Ole Miss. It's all about June.
yeah.
But we gotta do all the stuff that you got to do to put yourself in the position that you want to be in June. You got to do it now and next week and 3 weeks from now, as we all know, and 6 weeks from now and so on. Yeah. I just thought that was interesting take. Like Lane Kiffin and Chris Jans and Brian O'Connor inherited some good talent.
Yeah.
Your predictions for this weekend: Mississippi State, Arkansas, Ole Miss, and Texas games. If you win one, is that okay, or are you looking for winning two?
Well, if you win one, you've held. If you win two, it's a massive win. It's a huge weekend.
Correct.
Yeah.
Because you got to go on the road for both teams. Both teams have to only go on the road. Ole Miss is playing at Texas, and State's playing at Arkansas.
Okay. Well, those are two teams that are absolutely loaded.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're going to play North Alabama like you referenced earlier, or Lipscomb, or Evansville, teams that they've been playing.
Right.
I mean, these guys.
Time to play.
These are legit teams with Major League Baseball prospects. And you have them too. I recognize that, but Texas and Arkansas can flat out play. No doubt about it. And Van Horn's been there forever. No, Bianco's the dean.
He's been there.
Is Van Horn?
Bianco's been there for 26 years.
What about Van Horn?
Van Horn's been there for probably.
I don't know the timeline on Van Horn, O'Sully Sullivan, and Corbin. They've all been at their places a long time. Vanderbilt, Florida, and Arkansas. I just can't. What, Van Horn moved over from Nebraska. Corbin was an assistant at Clemson, and Sully was an assistant at Clemson. Is that right?
03.
Who?
03 is when Van Horn got to Arkansas.
Wow, so that's just a couple of years after Bianco went to Ole Miss. Wow, those guys have been there a long time.
So long.
And that's just what college baseball coaches do. That's why, people were like, God, it'll be a tough lift to go get Brian O'Connor. And then you realize you were paying him $3 million and letting him bring, which I agree with, by the way, and letting him bring 10 people with him.
Right.
Basically, he just got whatever he wanted.
Okay.
But that's absolutely.
Give it to him again.
Yeah.
And the next day.
I mean, you see what going and getting someone with no head coaching experience has done to you with, Jeff Levy, Joe Moorhead, Sylvester Croom in football. And I know Dan didn't have any head coaching experience, but totally different than the ones that I just rolled through, because Dan had been with Urban Meyer for 9 years, and he had been an offensive play caller for 4 at Florida in the SEC while they were winning big with multiple quarterbacks. And that's a big deal. But you look at, Lane Kiffin inherited a running ton of talent from Matt Luke.
No doubt.
Chris Jans inherited some really nice talent from Ben Howland.
Sure.
One of them has made an NBA team in Tolu Smith. Not many guys from this state make NBA teams. Not saying we haven't had good players that went on to play in Europe, and that's cool, but it's a totally different ballgame. And then O'Connor inherited / retained some good players in Ace Reese and Garrett Fry and Bryce Chance, among others. Fair enough?
Yeah, he held a top 5 player down.
Yeah. Yeah. And Ace is the real deal, and he changed the game for you the other night in one swing, and he hit it out into the ocean.
Gapper. I didn't think he was getting out there.
So, and look, that was Oppo.
Yeah, I know.
He didn't even think, he just kind of went, boop.
I don't think he thought he hit it out.
I know, it wasn't like one of his crushing swings.
Wasn't a rocket.
But still, that's how much power he has. He just kind of went, oh, that's outside a little bit, boom, gone.
Ball jumped off the bat.
Hey, speaking of a great place to watch the games today, Martin's in Livingston. TVs everywhere. Gumbo, wings, and po' boys, and ice cold Michelob Ultra. Martin's in Livingston.
WRKS Pickens Jackson.
All systems go.
Live from the Whiskey 61 Lounge inside the Bank Plus studio.
This is Our Warning.
Live in the studio. It's the Out of Bounds Show with OOB. Streaming live worldwide on the Out of Bounds radio app. And on your radio at ESPN 105.9. All set? Let's go. The Zone.
Oh, look at that.
Good morning. Welcome into the Out of Bounds Show. ESPN 105.9 The Zone, brought to you by the Bolognese. Vodka Rigatoni. And the world-famous meatball to go along with the wood-fired pizzas at Taste Italian Kitchen in the Renaissance and Starville. TasteItalianKitchen.com, TasteItalianKitchen.com. You're going to need a reservation 90+% of the time. I'm just telling you. I've heard from a lot of you. I'm glad you're going. It's a wonderful place. The bar is beautiful. The restaurant's gorgeous. Private dining rooms. The outside area is going to be ready in a few weeks. It's fantastic. And it's a place that just attracts beautiful women too, which is a win for some of you also. But I'd get a reservation. TasteItalianKitchen.com. From the Bolognese to the calamari. TasteItalianKitchen.com.
Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that.
Isn't that beautiful? What's that lady's name again?
It looks so fresh.
Oh, no, I mean like her real name?
Yeah, I'm looking.
Okay. And we're going to try to get her on the show. Is this right?
I'll reach back out to the same number I called. But again, it was probably maybe her PR or her husband or somebody like that, or
Somebody screening the calls.
yeah. And I just said, "Hey, can we get her on the show?" And he said, "I'll reach out to her or
Okay.
call to her and see if I can't get her on the show for you guys."
Awesome. And her name's what? I mean, what's the name of her Smarty Pants? Smarty Pants Kitchen.
Correct.
That's such a good, catchy name
Kills it.
to be, a chef,
Yes.
a social media influencer chef, whatever it's called.
That's what it is.
Okay.
Yeah, Anisha.
Anisha.
Her name's Anisha. Okay. And didn't we kind of figure out she's in Texas?
Yeah.
Maybe?
She's a native Texan with a bachelor's in business
Oh, look at
administration.
that. Every single one of those is just coated perfectly. It looks so fresh. Wow.
Wow. Man. Who wants a quadruple helping of pea salad today?
Anisha.
Evidently she does. Yeah.
She makes it sound
You think
so
that's
good,
the
though.
special today on 30A? Pea salad and a crisp Sauvignon Blanc? It's got to be.
Do you think they eat that down there?
Hell yes.
Disgusting.
I mean, yeah, I do.
That doesn't strike me as a beach food. Shouldn't.
Interesting. Okay.
But it shouldn't strike me as food.
Did Wendy fix you a big bowl of pea salad?
No, but I requested it for this weekend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm hoping, that there's like 4 bowls of it in the refrigerator,
Oh.
just chilling with mayonnaise and English peas and whatever the hell else she put in there. I don't know what that Smarty Pants put in there, but
all kind of
you,
stuff.
you came up with it last week.
Yeah.
It was like onions and
Shredded cheese, bacon.
yeah.
all kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
And that still doesn't make it sound good.
No.
I mean, I like bacon. I like shredded cheese and I like onions depending on what I'm eating. I don't need a lot of onions if I am getting into that.
No.
I mean, like onion rings
Oh,
from
yeah.
Burgers Blues Barbecue in Dogwood Flowwood, I'm in. But we're talking about a different deal.
Yeah. Way different.
Yeah. That's great. That's great. So this guy, let's go to the Dancing Rabbit golf text line. 601-885-3776. Eagle Cat Mike started chewing tobacco in the 7th grade.
Yep. Nice.
He worked for the Jackson Mets from 84 to 87.
Lit.
which I'm jealous because as a kid, I was going to those games. He said, I was a clubby. End of the season of 84, there was a whole case of Copenhagen left in the freezer
Let's go.
of the clubhouse. 40-plus cans.
Wow.
After a few almost upchucks early on, it was on. 79 cents a can back in the day.
Dang.
Okay. All right. And first of all, I cannot believe back then, considering they were making probably $100 a week.
Yeah.
Okay. And again, money went, a little bit further back then. But if he's a clubby in the Jackson Mets AA organization, back when Billy Bean and Roger McDowell and all those dudes were coming through.
Daryl Strawberry.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
OOB McDowell, you just keep on going.
Wasn't David Johnson the manager?
He what? Yeah, and then he was the manager when they won it in 86 with Dwight Gooden and all those guys I just named. Yeah, I think. I can't believe that as little money as they made that someone left 40 cans of Copenhagen in the freezer at Smith Wills back then.
Good point.
Can you imagine how bad their locker room was in 1984? I mean, no amenities. I mean, I'm thinking open showers and probably open toilets.
Yeah.
It's still the same way.
Have you been in it?
Oh, yeah.
In the
I've umpired at Smith Wills.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
still the same way.
Okay,
There's the
how are the
locker room is
the locker room.
okay. The locker room is still wide open.
Okay.
The toiletries, no doors.
Okay. No doors.
Nice.
Showers.
So if you're taking
Who needs
a
it?
number two, everybody's right there with you.
Hey,
All right.
get in.
Okay.
Um,
And then the showers are open.
open.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I doubt though that anybody, even like when high school teams play, I doubt they shower there
Ain't nobody
because there's no
doing it.
point.
No.
I mean, you can you just leave the game and go back
Bellhaven.
to a local
Bellhaven just goes back to their
right. And now Bellhaven's out at Pearl where the Mud Monsters play. But yeah, fair enough. Don't you think that's accurate?
Oh yeah.
Nobody. I mean, I wonder when the last time somebody showered in there.
How many times did you shower after a high school game?
No, you just went home.
You just go home.
Yeah.
Never showered after high school.
I mean, every now and then you had to, but I mean, it was rare.
I don't remember showering in a high school locker room ever.
We had
Maybe once on accident.
we had basketball practice before school in high school.
Ooh, that would do it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, that would.
Now I did get to the point. So I lived in Bellhaven, so there wasn't any running home.
Right.
I mean, everybody thought I lived in Biloxi. I mean, it was unbelievable. I would tell somebody, "Hey, I live in Bellhaven." Like I'd be at MRA, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And they'd be like, "Oh, yeah, where do you live?" I'd be like, "Oh, I live in Bellhaven." You'd have thought I said I live in New Orleans.
Right.
It's unbelievable. And but I did finally. Some buddies lived close, so we could run home,
Nice.
run to their house, and you
Right.
could actually get in a nice shower.
Nice.
But I mean, just think about that. Those Jackson Mets guys and whoever they were playing, the Diablos. Remember them? The Diablos or the Shreveport Captains or the Arkansas Travelers or, whatever. They're showering in there.
Every one of them.
Foot fungus. They weren't carrying flip-flops around.
Oh, come on.
I mean, and now you go to an MLB park and it's even nicer than the Ritz-Carlton.
That's right.
I mean, you have dedicated spots. You're good.
So
I mean, when I went and interviewed Palmeiro when he was with the Orioles and they were playing the Braves interleague play, and I was in the Braves stadium in the locker room, even back in 06 or 07, it was nice. Now, today, can you imagine Truist with the Braves or the one I just went to, Globe Life Field?
Right. God bless.
How nice those showers and bathrooms are? Unbelievable.
Probably like a Buc-ee's.
Oh, I drove by Buc-ee's. I got to tell my Buc-ee's story. All right. We are the Out of Bounds Show. ESPN 105.9 The Zone.
It looks so fresh.
Oh, good morning to you. Out of bounds, ESPN 1059 The Zone. We're talking about the 30A special today for spring break. Pea salad. You know they're making it at country clubs around the country, right? Come off the tennis court. Like some pea salad and a Chardonnay, a good buttery Chardonnay. I'm kidding. We are the Out of Bounds Show. I'm your host, Bo Bounds. Jay Meadows. Wes is with us. He's hanging on to every pitch, every inning of Mississippi State baseball. And we love him for that. I mean, you can't beat it. What is that total? Let me see what I got to do here.
Somebody got to do it.
Yeah, somebody's got to do it. 504 innings if they don't play 7-inning games. 504 innings. Wes is locked in. He came in last week or this week. I don't remember which week it is. This week.
Yeah.
On Monday, and he was upset that they didn't win by enough. Not the third game where they won like 26-0 or something.
Right.
Mississippi State over Lipscomb.
That's correct.
And Noah Sullivan had like 9 home runs.
Yep.
But maybe it was the second game, or maybe it was the first game. I don't. There was one game that Wes was not happy that they didn't break the game open until the 7th inning. I think it was. Oh, it was number 17 for Lipscomb was the crap. You know, he was throwing all that stuff, had the game of his life, and O'Connor in the post game said, yeah, he was throwing 4 different pitches the way he wanted to throw them.
He shut him out for 6 innings.
Okay, 6 innings. There we go. Yeah, when you shut Garrick Fry and Ace and Noah Sullivan and guys like that down and Bryce Chance for 6 innings, then you're dealing that. Now, we may see some of that in SEC play because we got some dudes. Mississippi State has some dudes, Arkansas, Ole Miss. You know, it's not surprising when Hunter Elliott sits somebody down for either 1 or 2 times in the order. Man, it's going to be so much fun. 30 games. The 30-game gauntlet starts tomorrow for the Southeastern Conference in baseball. Hey, I do want to let you know, shout out to Sandra and everybody, Mudbugs is open today. So I just said college baseball. You got great college basketball this weekend. Kentucky and Missouri is just in a couple hours, which I'm excited about, right? And then we got everything else going on. Mudbugs, best crawfish. Their crab legs, the shrimp. But don't sleep on the nachos. Do not sleep on the nachos. Pulled pork, get a side of jalapenos. You know, they'll just put them in a cup.
Right.
Or 2. And then get you an ice-cold Bud Light or Michelob Ultra or whatever you like, Dr. Pepper, and you're in business. These people, do you know that I met some friends at Mudbugs a couple of weeks ago, and I sat down with them, and this is how professional they are. They had gloves. You know, the thin little gloves that you see people put on for surgery or something?
Yeah. Nitrile.
Or what?
Latex.
Latex gloves. They all had a pair before they dove into their crawfish.
Means business.
That's when you know that you're a Mudbugs crawfish professional.
Yep.
They bring latex gloves, and that's when you know you're going to get serious.
Oh, yeah.
Like, everybody else needs to
back away.
Back away. That's right, Wes. Back away.
That's more serious than a bib.
I agree. 100%.
I mean.
And, you know, with crawfish, you don't ever know.
You'll never know.
And so.
Oh, with the people around you, the crawfish will.
It's a big crawfish weekend at Mudbugs. One at the Reservoir on Old Fannin Road. One.
Brandon.
Downtown. Can I say down? Is that really a downtown? Mm-hmm. Okay. Downtown Brandon.
Yeah.
And that one's pretty too. I love it because they went into an old building. It's got a lot of character. And y'all know me. I love that exposed brick and the walls, the way they look and all the stuff. And their bar's cool. They got a bigger bar in Brandon than Mudbugs. If they had a bigger bar at Mudbugs,
oh God,
it would be in. They could make that bar 50 times bigger at Mudbugs. And there would not be a stool on Saturday by 12:30 or Sunday. It wouldn't be one. I mean, but it's the whole experience of eating crawfish with friends. You know, you're all, I mean, that's why sharing and breaking bread and food is one of the most important things and beautiful things in life. That's where the conversation is. You're catching up with family or friends. And that's what crawfish does, because you've got the potatoes out, you got the corn out, you got the sausage, the mushrooms, whatever your beverage of choice, and people are catching up and visiting, and you're happy.
It's a very social food.
You just hit on something. It may be the most social food.
Well, probably.
I mean, we do table. Other people have tables, and they've cut holes in them.
Yeah.
I mean, y'all been over to park. I have too, where they've got a table that's so long they've got 4 holes in it to where you're just dropping crawfish in it.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah. Put a trash can under it and go.
Yeah. Mudbugs is open today, tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday at the Res and downtown Brandon.
I'm not sure anything really rivals it social food wise.
I'd have to think that through.
I mean,
The lounge at Mississippi State.
no, we're talking about, I mean,
Well, we're talking about a specific, I mean, yes, that's an unbelievable social experience. Good Lord. It's an amazing social experience to be, because there's not another place where you have 100 grills on top of the field where people can be cooking and watching great baseball. But the crawfish thing,
I guess barbecue would be
I guess
there.
so. I think you're right, though. Crawfish and the way that it's boomed the last 10 to 15 years.
Boomed.
I told you back in 2000, 2001, I was working for a company in Baton Rouge. And so I was down there 100 nights a year. And they threw a crawfish party. And I wasn't thinking anything about it. And I was like, great, that sounds great. Well, the guy who owned the company was like, we're having crawfish at my house. I was like, great. And I'm thinking they'll have a few crawfish. Oh, no. That's not how they do it in Baton Rouge. So he had a pool, and then he lived on a lake. And they ordered over 100 pounds on a Tuesday night, and it was just neighbors came over. His kids at that time were barely, I don't even think they couldn't even see over the table. And they knew how to
Shuck and jive.
Yes, they did. Never seen anything like. If I'd have had a phone that could have videoed, which I did not back then, it would have been incredible.
How old were you when you learned? Do you remember when you learned and actually got the whole shucking and jiving process down?
91, 92, 93?
Did it take a while?
It may have taken a minute.
I mean, your first boil or two?
Possibly. I went to the McBee's Crawfish Bowl in 93. That's when I realized, dang, this thing's pretty big. And then, God, that was when Lake Harbor was still almost a dirt road. God, Ridgeland's come a long way. Where am I going with that? But it really hit the stride the last 20 years, man. And now the last 10 people are having massive crawfish Their order, like Mudbugs has done. I mean, they've done a catering job in Nashville for I think Matt said 800 to 1,000 pounds.
Dang.
I mean, he's got a big rig. He takes it. It's game on.
Dang.
He did that for years. He may still do it. How about that? 800 to 1,000 pounds from Mudbugs in Nashville, Tennessee.
Chunk.
That's not playing around. The Out of Bounds Show is brought to you by Mudbugs. Open at the Res in downtown Brandon. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome in. Out of Bounds, 105.9 The Zone, ESPN. 105.9 The Zone, ESPN.
Oh, look at that.
We're live in the Bank Plus studio. The show is driven by Fowler GMC for your next GMC Sierra truck. GMC Yukon. FowlerGMC.com. FowlerGMC.com. Hit it today. Locally owned and operated. FowlerGMC.com. We were talking about people who dip or chew tobacco, which leads us to baseball a lot of times, but it could be any number of things. And we have received some unbelievable text on the Dancing Rabbit Golf text line. One of them was from Eagle Cat Mike, who was a clubby. I'm jealous. He was a clubby for the Jackson Mets from 84 to 87. And that was Dykstra and McDowell and Billy Bean, among many, many others. And y'all know that so many of those players ended up on the 1986 World Series team that won it. And so we got Eagle Cat Mike to call into the show on the Michelob Ultra caller line. And Eagle Cat Mike, good morning. How you doing?
Man, I'm great. How are y'all?
I'm doing well. So I was a kid. I was in Smith Wills all the time. You were a clubby. How did you apply, or how did you get the job?
Man, I had a classmate that was the bat boy for several years there. Then he kind of got too old to be the bat boy, and they put him in the press box as a runner. And he played baseball and asked me to cover for him. And while I was working the press box at home games, they were needing another clubby for the visiting guest house, and that's how I got in. And Mike Fader was the general manager. I was lucky enough to stay on for 3 years, So at the time, it was great. And now I look back on it, and, man, it was a fabulous time. I wish I'd have paid attention more to what was going on around there.
Sure. What?
I was in high school, so.
Oh, my gosh. You were in high school. Okay.
Yep.
What was your first interaction or impression with Lenny Dykstra?
Cocky. I'll say that for sure. He was around my age. He was 18 and 19 years old.
Wow.
He was, and look, he probably didn't weigh 160, 170 pounds. He had not ballooned up yet, but he was a good player, but he was definitely, a cocky guy. He really was. And it kind of sees into his personality as he got older, too.
Sure.
He got in a lot of trouble through the years. So, but that was that first year, they won the championship all 3 years I was there, the Texas League Championship. The first year, hey, you want a ring? Well, I was going to have to buy it. And I was like, no, I don't want it. And every year after that, they're like, hey, you want a ring? You're part of the program. No, and now I wish I had it.
Yeah.
So it was really, really neat being around. I did the visitor side, which consider this: you had a minimum of 24, 25 on a roster.
Okay.
That was on both sides. You had a pitching coach and your general manager, and we had 2 washing machines, and these are like household washing machines, and 1 industrial dryer to wash all those uniforms every night. So a lot of late nights up there washing uniforms, and it was fun. It was a good time.
So you were visiting clubhouse club. All right. So we're visiting with Eagle Cat Mike. He worked for the Jackson Mets for several years at a time when they were rolling with Dykstra and McDowell and Billy Bean and many, many others. Yeah. And we know that they won the championship in 86 MLB, which was incredible. Who was the biggest name or best player from a visiting opponent that you had that went on to become a great player that you interacted with, Eagle Cat?
Hernando Valenzuela.
Yes.
I didn't really have a lot of contact with him, but he had arm surgery, I think, and came through there on a rehab with San Antonio. They were the Dodgers.
Okay.
And he pitched there, and he didn't speak a whole lot of English. The visiting side, it was hard to get to know him because they were there for 5 games.
Sure.
Mackie Sasser is one that stuck out with me. He actually made it with the Jackson Mets. He was with the Shreveport Captains. He was one of my favorite guys that I enjoyed being around. Brantley even came through with San Francisco at that time. He was in the minor leagues and pitched a couple of times. So, but I mean, some of the guys on the Mets side, like Calvin Schiraldi,
yes,
with Boston, he was with the Mets, but that's when I realized how big of a business it was. He was there a week or two, and he was gone. And he actually came straight from the College World Series, whatever year
Texas,
he won it that year, because he was with Texas. But he was traded. He wasn't there a week or two, So, but there were. I mean, you had Kevin Elster, who maybe was a shortstop. He was a shortstop there for the Mets. Keith Miller, who played in center field.
Yeah.
Mark Carrion was in left. Billy Bean was in right. And when I watched Moneyball, the actor portrayed him. He was just so dry and point on. This is how I'm doing it, and that's it. But you had, pitchers. Roger McDowell was there. He was there for a year on rehab, and he got to pitch in the playoffs that year. Randy Myers, who broke the record in the major leagues for at one time for saves.
Yeah.
Who else was it? Greg Olson. He was a catcher. He made it with the Braves.
All right, let me jump in here. I want to go back to Dykstra. When I read the book Moneyball, Billy Bean talked about the difference between why Dykstra made it and why he didn't. And so I want to throw this out to you and let you kind of size it up, see what you think and you agree. Billy Bean said that he would go 0 for 4 one day and go home and tell himself he was the worst player in the world and he may never get a hit again. And that Lenny Dykstra would go 0 for 4 and come back to their apartment and think that he was the best player in baseball. And that would drive Lenny the next day to go 3 for 4, and Billy Bean would stay in a slump. Are those the things that you picked up on? You mentioned his confidence and how cocky Dykstra was, Mike?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So he made a comment, and I can't say this on the air one day, and it was about a girl that was dating, and then I was like, oh, I don't want any part of him, but he was definitely, and he could play too. I mean, I know that he was in AAA the next year that he was with the Mets after he left AA, and he wasn't there very long. Got traded to Philadelphia, and we had a satellite in the office, and I remember watching his first 2 at bats, because his first one he struck out, and the next one he hit a home run. And of course I followed him.
Sure.
Never really had a great taste in my mouth. There's all kind of characters in baseball and athleticism too, So, but he could play. So could Billy Bean,
Yeah. Oh no. I mean, Bean was a good player. He was so being a first round pick, saying no to Stanford, all that, and it just didn't quite. I mean, it worked out later as far as his front office career. All right, so McDowell, hold on, Roger McDowell. Was OOB McDowell on the team? I don't remember if he went through. I may be getting that mixed up.
I remember the name, but I don't think he was there.
Okay.
The biggest name that I remember back then was Mookie Wilson.
Mookie, that's who I'm thinking of, not OOB. He was with Oklahoma State and went through the Mississippi State Regional.
And it seems like Darryl Strawberry was there the year before I started working.
Okay.
So, but they were, it was a fun time. It really was. And I look back on it now, I was like, man, you had it made. You're at the ballpark every day.
Golly, you were in high school and you were a clubby.
Actually, God. And I went through 2-a-days of football my senior year for a week doing that. They were in town because when the visiting team was in town, that was really the only time I had to be around. But, you know, when they came in and when they left, you generally, like I said, it was a 5-game homestand. And then you'd have another group come in that night, or they were on the road for 5. They kind of rotated 5 or 10 game series. But that was rough, man. It really was. Going through 2 days and
I bet.
football, and they made the playoffs then, but I had my brother and another friend that kind of took over once my football really started taking off.
Okay. Did you ever go out with them to the dock or anywhere?
And then one year we had they won the championship, and they were at home when they did that, and they had a big party, and I went to that. I sat around. Kevin Lester was kind of he made it with the Mets as a shortstop, and I don't remember his background, but he was very sought after. He wasn't a really good hitter, but he was an awesome glove. And one night he was down because some of the fans were on him because he wasn't hitting really good, and he made the comment in the clubhouse. He goes, "Man, nobody even drank a beer with me," and I was like, "Oh, I'll drink a beer with you," you know. And we wound up having, you know, pretty good relationship there. So over that beer, to be honest with you, so kind of get to know folks. But it was really neat. Every night, the visiting team got a case and a half of beer after the game. And what struck me was that the Arkansas Travelers that would come in, they were owned by Anheuser-Busch. Of course, they were with the Cardinals. They would bring more beer with them. Like, they'd bring an extra 7 cases. So they got 2.5 cases of beer every night. And I was like, wow. You know, but that was one of my responsibilities, making sure the beer was iced down when they got through the game. So, part of being a clubby. So
that is so awesome. I mean, you now realize that you were in the thick of it, and all the stories that you have from AA MLB baseball with the Mets and all the other teams rolling in, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, and they had, at one time, they had more people leave the Jackson Mets, AA baseball, and go straight to the big leagues than anybody, you know, in the farm system.
Right.
So, and it's pretty cool, you know. And I'm 17, 18, 19 years old, you know, and you don't see that, you know. These guys, I thought they were older than me. A lot of them were my age, you know. I was kind of clueless to what was going on there.
That's right.
So.
That's right. So many of them back then were going straight out of high school. So many more are now going to college for 2 or 3 years, and then because college baseball has become so big, were there groupies? Did you have female groupies around the?
Oh, absolutely. Cleat chasers is what they call them.
Absolutely, yes.
and a lot of guys, you could go from the clubhouse down to the dugout. You know, there was a tunnel underneath,
right.
And a lot of guys would slip out and come across to the guest, you know, and come out that way, so they would avoid seeing, you know, women or somebody chasing after them or something. Yeah, it was some pretty crazy stuff.
Okay, who was? I know Davey Johnson was the manager when they won the World Series. Wasn't he the manager for a minute or two in Jackson, or is that right?
Yes, he was.
Okay.
And Sam Palazzo was the manager the last 2 years I was there, and he made it as a manager too.
Okay.
Wendell Kim was with Shreveport, that was the Giants. He made it as a third base coach, and Marty DeMarion was a pitching coach. And Marty made it with the Cubs as a pitching coach. Those 2 guys were great. For some reason, I really bonded with the bunch out of Shreveport there. But Marty was one, you know, he looked like a pro wrestler. I mean, he was 6'4", 6'5", about 280, and he called me at 7:00 in the morning, "Hey, come get me at the hotel." And he was just a gym rat, man. He just stayed at that place, you know.
Really?
20 hours a day. Yeah, he'd come in there, and that's back when people used to put on, it was almost like a raincoat, and they would run and sweat. And I can remember him sitting in the dugout, just water pouring out of that thing. And I was like, how do you weigh 280 pounds and you're doing this every day? you know? So, but no, he was one that, hey, you come get me in the morning. I was like, yeah, because I'd get home at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, but I'd go get him and take him up there, And back then, I got $4 a player, which was kind of set up to where they'd give you a 5, and then a team would give you $25. So you were making around $125 every 5 days, which was good money back then.
Oh, 1984, you could do what you wanted.
Right.
Okay. So now when they wanted to have a cold beer after the game, were you in? I'm talking about in the clubhouse or on the bus or whatever. How'd that work?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Of course, that was back when 18 was the legal age. So before leaving high school, you became legal to drink, right?
Right. Yeah. Well, actually, my whole senior year, I was 18.
That's incredible.
And it wasn't hard to buy beer back then.
Sure.
But not that I was, but it wasn't hard. And we had big wash tubs, and both clubbies. There was one for the home side, one for the guest side, and we had access to the beer cooler there because they had guys that walked around and sold them at the stands, and that's where we got it. We'd ice it down in these big ice tubs, and there were times where guys were like, "Hey, they're leaving here, going to Arkansas. They got to drive through the night, and it's 11 or 12 o'clock before they get out of there." And they're like, "Hey, you sell me another 12-pack of beer?" Because they'd want to get a buzz and go to sleep on the bus, so it'd make the bus ride better.
Sure. And what they were probably making $100 a week?
I remember at one time a bunch of checks came in, and probably shouldn't be saying this, but we were looking through some of them, and some of them were making $500-$600, and they were big names.
Right.
But most of them were, 200 or less, and they were living 3 or 4 guys in an apartment, and a lot of them. Alfredo Pedrique was one that was with the Mets for a long time, and he made it eventually in the big leagues, and I was happy for him because he actually worked down the street in the mornings at the beer barn right there on Lakeland Drive.
Yeah.
He would get up when they were in town, and he would work there until he had to be there for batting practice. I mean, some of them had some other jobs so they could survive.
Yeah, I think, was it Dykstra, I think, that painted houses or something? I can't remember the story. That's all they did was win. You caught it at the right time. I mean,
I did.
And then so many of those guys ended up on the 86 World Series team. And it's really hard to wrap your brain around that we had the AA affiliate Mets that long ago.
And like you said, so many of those guys off of those rosters were on that team, and it really made it great to watch. That the New York Mets came in and played scrimmage game. We had the 84 Olympic team came in and did an exhibition while I was there.
Oh, Will Clark and McGuire were on that team, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've actually got a lot of their stuff came in beforehand, and one was a whole pallet of baseballs. I don't know how many dozen baseballs are on that thing, and I've got one that's got all their signatures on it, but it's red and blue laces were the baseballs, and they had to sign every one of those balls, and that's why they had them sitting in the middle of the clubhouse, because they had to get it done by a certain time, and you'd see guys with a dozen balls, signing their name. It was for a giveaway, eventually somewhere down the road. And they'd write their name on the side of the box. That's how they'd know if they'd done all those balls that were in there. But it's kind of funny because when we picked them up, I had a little Toyota pickup truck, and another guy there with the Mets had another pickup. And that's how we got all their gear from the airport to the stadium. We put it in the back of our truck and took it. So
unbelievable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Hey, thanks for Thanks for calling and sharing some Jackson Mets stories with us today, my man. Appreciate it, Mike.
All right. Yep. Thanks, sir.
All right, buddy. Mike joined us on the, well, I would have to believe the number one beer then was Bud Light. So we'll say the Bud Light caller line, 601-707-3750. Bud Light and wings for the win today as we catch some SEC hoops. That was great. Lenny Dykstra, that's the one I nerded out. I've watched the movie Moneyball a million times, but I've read the book once, but gone back and looked at it. You know what I'm saying? Like you do on a good book that you like. And one of the things that jumped out at me that I really made sense, and it's super simple, but I think we don't really stop and think about, was it didn't face Dykstra to go 0-4. And it ate Billy Bean alive. And yet Billy was the first round pick, the 6'4", strapping 200-something-pound kid who said no to Stanford and signed for what was considered a big chunk of money back then. And he admits that mentally he couldn't get out of his own way, whereas Lenny could flush an at bat and be right back ready to roll. And he could go 0-4 the next night. It didn't bother him. He woke up the next day thinking, I guess I'm going 4-for-4.
Yep.
I'm Lenny Dykstra. But Lenny was 5'0", 100, and yet he went on to have a hell of a career. Now, Billy Bean's career was amazing as an executive and so on. We all know that. But that's the one thing that jumped out at me. And John Cohen said it 10, 12 years ago on the show. He said, it's not about talent at this level. It's about between the years. And I know it's easy to say, but it's the guys that can get in a rut and be in that be 0-11 over a few games, and then all of a sudden start ripping again, or guys that they can't ever get it back. Tanner Allen reminds me of a guy like that, just could flush it and get right back in the saddle and hit 2 doubles, and get rolling again.
Got to have amnesia.
You do have to have amnesia, no doubt.
Just like a quarterback.
Yeah, no, that's
throw a pick. Don't be scared to throw another one.
Yeah, Favre was unbelievable.
He lived with amnesia.
Yeah, I mean, he could throw a pick, shake it off, go back out, lead him to a touchdown.
Yeah, or a pick.
Whoa.
Again. Or, throw it Tracy Porter.
Wow. Wow.
The Saints can.
You're being a little harsh today.
Saints, we appreciate Brett.
The Out of Bounds Show is brought to you by Total Transportation of Mississippi, offering nationwide and regional routes for solo and team drivers at Total Transportation of Mississippi. Great company, weekly pay, monthly bonuses, full benefits, frequent home time, paid vacation, powered by Total Transportation of Mississippi. Apply right now to this great company, TotalMS.com, TotalMS.com. Everything will be on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Search Out of Bounds with Bo Bounds, or go to YouTube and search Out of Bounds Sports. YouTube, search Out of Bounds Sports. Enjoy some Mudbugs crawfish and some college hoops today, or wings and gumbo at Martin's and Livingston. See ya.